I'm shooting a quick gear and gadgets from home this time. I've been on set a whole bunch, but I've been so busy it's been hard to find time to get people engaged in doing reviews. So I'm going to give you guys a quick review of the Astera NYX bulbs. If you're familiar with the Astera Titans or Helios, the NYX is a new member of that family. Basically, it comes in this case of 8. And each one of these bulbs is basically just what you'd screw into a practical fixture. You know, like a Titan tube is 16 pixels. This is just 1 pixel, but it's the same pixel that's in the Titan and Helios fixtures. This is a competitor to the Aputure product. I don't remember the unit offhand. There are some very notable differences. The first thing is that these don't have a built-in battery, whereas the Aputure product does. And these are actually more expensive, so you might wonder why a person would buy them. For some people, I think the Aputure product might be a better choice, but I bought this one because it has CRMX radios or lumen radios built in. So if you're familiar with the Titan or Helios, this interface should look familiar. Basically, this is the brains of a Titan or Helios. It's got the batteries and everything inside here. So I can program this light from here, and I can set up its DMX information. I can change what is being controlled. I can also choose like static colors, like this is a red, and I can cycle through. It's got basic colors as well as like all the specific colors that you can get, like the leaf filter colors and all that stuff. It has all those things. You can very easily just set the color temperature. It's a full RGB, or, you know, just the color, or I can do like a hue and saturation value as well. But basically this unit is a battery as well as a controller, and the idea is that you'd plug in and set up these settings, and then once you've got the settings that you want, you can unplug the light. That's just a normal LED practical, and then there we go. It has all the settings. That's the most basic use that you would make of this. More sophisticated use is that you would use this with a wireless lighting control system, such as blackout or luminaire. This is just a power adapter up here, and then you lift out this attic and you've got some accessories. Now, I mentioned that there's not an inbuilt battery in these, but they do have the ability to plug a power cable in, and it'll run off of any of your basic 5-volt USB sources. So if you have some power banks or wall adapters or things like that, they're easy to power from that. But I won't lie, it would be a really nice addition if these had built-in batteries. It comes with enough cables for all of the fixtures, and then they also come with these cute hats. Basically, these can suction cup onto the bulb itself to act as a flag or a diffuser, kind of like to control a hot spot. Like if you've got a thing like this, you see this on the wall, if you put the hat on, it will knock down that bright spot. If you're interested in knowing another quirk, they come with these little pieces of plastic or rubber that are supposed to go in these ports. I think it's to achieve a waterproof rating or something, but these things come out, they don't stay attached, and they're impossible to keep track of. I just threw mine all down here after losing one. A set of these with the power base and the case and everything is, I think, $1,200 or something like that. I have actually made some rental income off of these, and they've actually worked quite a bit, which I would use as an important metric. What more could I tell you? Oh, so another quirk. This is a feature and a quirk, I guess. One of the features that Astera just unlocked is now you can control these directly from your phone. It sets up one as like a server, and then the rest of them are clients. And so you can do it directly from the Astera app. If you're used to using the Astera app, you can now connect and change all the settings. Until just a few weeks ago, you had to use the art box, if you're familiar with it. It looks like a little, like a pager or something. It's smaller, and that's the box you generally need for wireless control of Titan tubes. But a cool feature of these NYX bulbs is that right now this number 1 bulb is set up as like a server, and it can then link to and control all the rest of the bulbs, and I think it could control the Titan and Helios tubes as well, but I haven't tried that. One really weird glitch, when I was using it at first, I could go in and I could change settings. So let me show you. I'd go in and I went to DMX settings and then DMX profile. If you go in here, there's a bunch of different profiles, and it basically is very important that you choose the correct profile that lines up with the control software that you're using, or the lights won't respond properly. So I'd go and I'd change that, and I'd press enter, and I'd unplug the light, and I'd plug it back in, and it would forget all of my settings. It would keep the DMX, but all the other settings would revert back. It'd keep the channel, but the profile would just revert. After I went to a new firmware, and the firmware updates through the Astera app automatically when you connect to them, it fixed all that eventually. But this is a relatively new product, and it was very frustrating at first because without an art box, I just couldn't really control these. So I'd have to like keep it plugged in and try to screw it in basically with it plugged in so it wouldn't forget the settings, because anytime it lost power, it flashed the DMX profile settings. I was super frustrated, even though I was just trying to figure out how to get them bug-free when I was not on set. With the new firmware updates and things like that, they seem to be a lot better. I love that they have CRMX Lumen radios built in. That means I can control them from all of my different software controls, not just from the manufacturer's app from Astera. I think it'd be a no-brainer to buy them if they had built-in batteries like the Aputure ones do. But I do have a set of power banks that I can use to power them from, but it's just that one extra level of complexity that is avoided by having the battery built in. I would say that I think my power banks will last like 6 or 10 times longer than the built-in Aputure batteries. But, you know, there's a pro and a con to everything.